Well, thank you very much for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate you coming all this way. Oh, hang on, it was me that came all this way from Vancouver. But I appreciate the hospitality I've had since I got here. And the topic I want to talk about is something that the folks in the room should be aware of more than the people that I normally deal with in North America and Europe, partly because it's what really directly affects you. So the topic, which you would be able to see, but we're 2 slides on, is that SAARC and China have won the battle for mobile. America just doesn't know it yet. We tend to think that American companies are the biggest and the best in the world because they tell us they're the biggest and the best. That's why we have Apple and Microsoft and Google and IBM and all these countries that say, we're Silicon Valley, we're America, we're the best technology companies in the world, therefore we're the best mobile companies. It's not necessarily true. There are huge companies. You know lots of these companies. The only reason that Yahoo has lots of money is because it backed Jack Ma and Alibaba's carried it through. Yahoo would be a terrible business if it didn't own that section of Yahoo, but they did, and therefore they've done well. North America likes to think it's the home of technology. It was the first place to have computers, it was the first place to have laptops, then it moved to tablets, then everybody started to get phones. So by North American standards, that's the home of technology, therefore they're always on the cutting edge. However, these slides don't move very easily. If you look at the rest of the world grew up differently. The rest of the world now has lots of technology. The rest of the world thinks smartphone first. We saw these wonderful figures on penetration. The amount of people that are accessing the internet on their phones is totally different in India and in Bangladesh, where my development team is, and in China than it is in North America. North America is still stuck on laptops and desktops. So, who's going to win the future? Who's going to win the future of mobile? Well, the ones with the best advantages will win. And the best advantages are, how big a market do you have? Well, the market is huge for China and the SAARC region. It's a lot bigger than North America, and it's a lot bigger than Europe. So if you have a really big home captive market, you've got a bigger pond to play in, you can grow to be a bigger fish. So market size is going to determine how big you can actually grow. Come on, I know you can move forward. Okay, other key to getting into a market and owning a market is you have to actually understand it. Hipster dude on the right, he probably has no idea what life is like in Mumbai. If you go down to Silicon Valley and you go into any big technology company, you will see a lot of people from India. You'll see a lot of people from China. You'll see Asian people all over the place making decisions, programming, running it. They understand the market in North America, but they also understand the market, the home markets in India, in China. North American hipsters, for my company, I had to hire somebody out of China to get Yo into China because we thought we knew it. We brought Michael in. We realized we knew nothing. If you already understand the market, you've got a huge advantage over those that don't. Mobile first is a huge factor. As I said, North America grew up on desktops and laptops. Most people that I meet in India and in Bangladesh, they didn't. They grew up on a phone. A phone is your computer. If a phone is your computer, then you think mobile. We've heard how advertising has to be mobile-centric. It can't just be banner ads taken from a laptop and thrown onto a screen on a phone. It doesn't work. If you think mobile first and you're used to that size of screen, then you've got more chance of actually making good decisions as you go through. So, being mobile first, huge factor. Market demographics. We all know that India and China are the big markets. We know that it's growing rapidly. We know that it's a population where the age demographic favors using phones. North America is a much more mature market. The growth patterns are very different. We heard this morning that China is now saturated by mobile phones, so that market isn't growing as much. But people are now upgrading. People are doing more things with their phones. So now everybody's got them. Now people are using them more. In North America, the markets are much more static. They're much more established. You've got much bigger players in the space, and it's difficult to move an existing incumbent player. Anybody that's read any of the business books knows it's the young, nimble companies that can find the key markets. How long ago did Uber not exist? 3, 4 years? Now it's the biggest in its space by a huge margin. It's created its own space that didn't otherwise exist. So, if SAARC and China are going to win, then there are 3 key resources that the region actually needs to win. And my theory is that all of these 3 are now in place, and they weren't necessarily in place a couple of years ago. So, development talent. The last 20 years, North America and Europe have been investing in hiring developers in India because they're talented and they're cheap. When I set up my company, my very first developer was in Bangladesh, and we went to Bangladesh because it was cheap. We stayed because they're brilliant. We stayed because they're very, very good. So the West, the more developed countries, have spent a long time actually building out an infrastructure of highly talented people that know how to code, and know how to code well, not at a local level of doing small apps, but doing big, big apps that can change the world. So all the development talent in the world is here. It's much, much cheaper, and it's a lot better than anybody I can get in North America. That skipped through 2. But the one that we just skipped through said leadership talent. One of the problems that we've seen coming up more from India, Bangladesh, countries around this region, more so here, less so in China, is that people don't believe they can actually lead very large global companies when they're based out of India. They think they have to be in Silicon Valley. They think they have to sell out to Google really, really quickly in order to stand a chance to create their future. Well, there's now leaders that have come through that have built a company and sold a company, built another company, sold another company. These people are now part of the community. They're accessible as mentors. They're part of the community for people here. So you can see people that have succeeded, people that have won. They can pass on their knowledge and their skill set and their ability and their connections. And suddenly you've got this big talent pool of people that really know what they're doing, and a big talent pool of people that have been there and experienced it, and they've been kicked around by the world, but they've actually won and they've built some successful companies. You bring those 2 together, and now you've got the basis for forming good companies. But any company needs financial resources. The key reason that we still perceive that America is winning the technology market is because they have companies like Apple, and Apple is the world's most profitable company. And Apple makes lots and lots of money because it takes lots and lots of money off of people that already have too much money. I must confess, my bias is I am not an Apple fanboy. We have many discussions in the office as to whether people are going to use an Apple or a proper operating system, but they have people within their walled garden, and they're making a lot of money off it. But those financial resources are starting to spread now. Once people within China and within the region around here start selling companies, the money starts to flow back, more and more investment is coming in. You're now getting more VCs looking outside of North America and looking over here. I get approached a lot by people looking to invest in my company, and I would say 50% of the people who are looking to invest are no longer in Silicon Valley. That's a sign that the money is spreading around. Once you've got the resources to actually take advantage of this development talent and to take advantage of the fact that you've got good leadership, then there's no reason you won't win, because there's enough of the macro factors are there, the micro level factors are there. It's purely a matter of time. Over time, you'll see North America will start to slip back. And so, while America thinks and ponders and says, hey, don't I look good in my designer Apple Watch? SAARC will have quietly built the next killer app, and at some point, they'll start eating the lunch of North America. So, that's my theory. I may be right, I may be wrong. I've been both a number of times in the past. But what I am convinced about is that the experience that I'm living at Yo, and I'm not going to do a whole bunch of promotional stuff for Yo, but hey, it's a free app and it's out there, and we launched version 1.2 to coincide with this event. So anybody who has access to the Google Play Store, go and download Yo. It's a fantastic app, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But the more important thing is that Yo came about because we are not totally a North American company. We have 24 people in Canada, but we have 72 people in Bangladesh. And we only have Yo because we had the Bangladesh office. And we have it because of a problem. And this was the problem. Oh, my video's not working. That's a shame. So in this picture, which is actually really a video, what's happening is Alan, who is my first employee back in Canada, has come over and he's showing the lads in the office in Kulna exactly how to look after their code and do a code deposit in our secure server. Unfortunately, he's also trying to download a file that's 50 megs, which he does no problem at all at home, but it's not working here. Rakib, who runs the office, is looking at his watch, and Sabir, who's our lead technology manager, is going, ah, and Alan's going, why is it not working? Well, it's not working because the power keeps going out and connectivity is bad. And Alan's not used to the power going out, and he's not used to connectivity being bad because he just assumes I have almost unlimited bandwidth, and if I want to download something, I just go ahead and I do it. But in Bangladesh, they had this problem. So they went out and they solved it. They said, our problem is the price is too high for data. Data costs too much money here. I have to go out and I have to work a lot of hours. I have to work this many hours at minimum wage in order to get 500 megabytes of data in order to be able to surf Facebook for a few hours. So work a week, spend 3 hours on Facebook. It's not a very good equation. But we don't have that pain in North America, so we didn't understand it. But these guys did. This was my team 18 months ago in Bangladesh. They'd just come back from the company retreat. They worked out that they could find a way to actually move the files between themselves in the office, and if they did that, they wouldn't have to actually go out of the office environment and hit the internet and use the precious bandwidths. So they created a product that did that. And then my mobile team said, this would be really, really awesome if we turn this into a mobile app, because we've grown up with phones. We've grown up as a mobile-centric workforce. So they spent evenings and weekends, and they created an app that allowed them to share things backwards and forwards without touching the internet. And then they contacted us on one of our daily Skype calls, and they said, hey, we've built this. What do you reckon? And we said, that is fantastic. And we spent the last 18 months building it out and getting some patents and making it work so that it actually now works fluidly. But we wouldn't have had it were it not for the local workforce actually building it out. Come on, little machine. So we built it. We launched Yo. We launched it 9 weeks ago. We've been doing well. We're very pleased. The first 3 weeks we got 5,000 users. The next 3 weeks we got up to 20,000 users. The last 3 weeks we're now at 120,000 users. It's taking off. People in Silicon Valley are noticing it. They're giving us awards. We have over 1,000 reviews in the Play Store. We're still at 4.2. People in the press are saying nice things about us. Ironically, people say nice things about us whether they're in Bangalore or the Jersey Shore, which is nice. That the product may have been built here to solve the local problem, but what we find is people anywhere in the world take the product and then they apply it to what their individual need is. So in the guys in Bangladesh, it's I need to share this file with somebody and I don't want to use my data and I don't have a good internet connection. Whereas the guys in San Francisco go, I have a 200 meg file and that's going to take a long time to share, but I can do that on Yo really quickly. I can do it in 20, 25 seconds, so I'm going to use this to do it. So everybody, you build a good product, people will find a local use for it. As we've seen with Uber being very local focused. Build something that's good, solve problems, allow people to work out what else it solves for them. So people have been saying nice things about Yo. Our team is very much global. We see ourselves as one global team with 3 offices, Dhaka, Kulna, and Vancouver. And when we do good things, we celebrate. The guys in Kulna like a big cake. The people in Vancouver like a good party. The lady in the red and white dress is my lovely wife, by the way, who's in the audience, and she likes good dance as well. So we celebrate differently, but we celebrate the same things, which is from a local idea of 3 guys in Bangladesh solving their problem. They've worked on it, they've come up with something special. We're now getting more and more people. Our mission now is to connect the next billion people. Connection is not what Facebook think. Facebook with internet.org say, connection means you connect to the internet. No, connection means you connect and share what you want to share within your local environment, hyperlocally or wherever. You can change the equation. We think we're changing the equation with Yo, but it only comes from thinking locally, but believing as a local operator out of here, you can change the world. We think we can. We're starting to do that with Yo. There's a lot of you out in the audience that probably have really good ideas on things that you can do to create. What I'd say is, it's a big world out there, but you're the guys that are going to win. So stick with what you're doing, have faith in yourselves, support each other, support events like this, because this is the global application market coming together. There is no place where all these developers of apps come together on a regular basis and create a presence and create a team and create people that can work with each other and pass ideas and trust people and go, hey, that's a good idea, I can work in that, I know a solution to that. So support this event, support local events wherever you are, but bear in mind, wherever you're based from, you can change the world, because this is the area that's going to change the world, it's going to own the world. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, Chris, for the session. And there's a slight change in schedule, so we're going to have another keynote before we wrap up to go for lunch. Sorry, and we'll take a quick selfie.